Hello, I'm Courtney. I'm the study abroad manager at UW Tacoma, and we are here to talk about the Spain Finance and Economics in the Global Economy program with one of the program directors, Annemarie. Annemarie, do you want to just introduce yourself? And yeah.
Yeah, happy to. Hi, everyone. I am Annemarie Martin, and I work at the Milgard School of Business. And I work there as a program manager in the Center for Leadership and Social Responsibility. And 4 years ago, I was a student at UW Tacoma, and I went on this same study abroad with the Milgard School of Business to Lyon in Spain. So I've been here also on this particular program with the same instructors. So excited to hopefully take other students and get the same experience.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so cool that you did this as a student and you now get to do it. I mean, you were obviously a staff member then as well, but you were doing it
Mhm.
as a student and now you're getting to do it as a staff member. It's so cool.
Yes, yes, yes. It was such a great experience. So I was really excited to hear that they wanted to do this again and go
Yes.
back to the same place.
Yes. And so awesome that you get to, if students run into any questions or issues or just have these aha moments, you'll have been in their shoes and can help or can share or can agree, because you've done this. So it's really cool.
Yeah,
Um,
yes.
so I guess my first question for you then, Annemarie, is what are you most excited for students to experience in Spain?
Oh,
There can be more
so
than one thing, of course.
I know. So when I went, to give you a little bit of background, so I am from the Netherlands, so I've been to Europe. I have been to Spain briefly, but this was the first time I really went and was like immersed in a culture.
Right.
So I didn't do too much research because I'm very comfortable with Europe. And when I went, I was just so pleasantly surprised about the location, about the culture. Um, Oh man, but what was it? Ooh. Okay, so generally my thinking is if you can go study abroad, do it. Whether it's for a week, 2 weeks, a month, a quarter, do it. Take that chance if you can because you learn so much by being out of your comfort zone and being somewhere else where you don't necessarily understand traditions or the language or culture. It's just such an eye-opening experience. And when I went in 2018, the program was for 1 week. This year we're going for 2 weeks, so you'll have a little bit more time to familiarize yourself with the area and get, I think, more out of it than I had in even a week. It's just such a warm culture. The area was beautiful. I can go on and on about this. So it's just such a wonderful experience.
Yeah. I think what I'm hearing from you is, first of all, the location, Spain in general, just experiencing
Beautiful.
the the
Yes.
delights of Leon is something that you're really excited for students to have. But also it sounds like you, because of your experience having lived, obviously being from another country and living in another country, you were surprised at how much you learned or how much difference you noticed, right?
Hmm.
Even someone who's a
Hmm.
seasoned traveler, because you were experiencing the program as a student. And I
Exactly.
think
Yes.
what that you hit the nail on the head there with study abroad in general, and of course this program. A lot of students, I think, say like, well, I can't study abroad while I'm in college, so I'll just travel later. And of course, you could do that. You've done that. I've done that. But there
Hmm.
is something different about studying
Hmm.
abroad because you're with
Absolutely.
experts, you get to meet and hang out with local people. And in this case, you get to stay with host families, which let me tell you, having lived abroad for a long period of time in other countries in Europe, it is hard to break in and meet people from that place. And that's how you learn about a place, through others, right? You learn about holidays
Absolutely.
and food and, cultural
Yes.
rituals and senses of time and, all these things from other people. And being on the Spain program, you get to do that with other students. So you're sharing this
Mhm.
experience. That is hard to come by post-graduation.
Absolutely. I agree. I'm so glad I did this as a student. It's such a safe environment too, like I imagined, okay, we're going to Madrid and then we'll go to the smaller, like it's a big city, and then we go to the smaller place where we're going to spend a week with host families and we take classes and we visit businesses to learn more about, their economy and the way things work. And Madrid was great, anything you expect, I think, from a big city. But Lyon was so impressively, I don't even know what to say. It's not just a small town, it's a beautiful old town. There's so much to do, there's so much scenery. Culturally, with the siestas, like the life is just different. You eat a big meal around 2 o'clock in the day, and then dinner isn't until 9, which is or after 9, and it's such a safe environment. The city or the town itself was very safe, very welcoming. The
Walkable.
host families was a great experience. That's definitely a little bit of a culture shock, even for a week, right? But it's for a week. You can do anything for a week or 2 weeks and have an open mind. And there are people there to help you if you are struggling with it. And me included, I would be there too. I have a lot of homestay experience.
Yes.
And the other thing that I really, really liked about this particular program or location is the Lyon Center. We
Yes.
had a staff member there who was helping us with logistics and homestay questions and anything really. He was our to-go-to person. And the center itself, it's in a beautiful old building. Your classroom looks out over the town. I don't even know if it's a town or a city, but it's beautiful. It has this big cathedral in their town, and it's just an amazing view.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad you mentioned the center. So for those of you who don't know, UW has different campuses around the world. There's one in Rome and there's one in Leon, Spain, where this program takes place. So as Annemarie said, you get to reap the benefits of having individuals who work there permanently as your go-to people, and you get to take your classes in this basically villa, like this old villa.
Mhm.
Um, and you have sort of a meeting place and a spot and a place to call home for your
Yes.
time there. And that's a real benefit too. Thank you for remembering to bring that up. That's a really
Oh
good
yeah.
benefit.
No, it was a big bonus it was just like you said, it was a home, and it was in like well, our homestay families were very close by the city center, and our classroom was in the city center. It was just so nice, like when you're out and about, like that's where you can go, whether you have class or no class, that's a place where you can go. And there's a front desk person who always welcomes you with an hola.
Yeah.
And it was just so welcoming. It was really such a great experience.
And to add to what we were saying before about the fact that of course you can travel when you're after college, but you are not going to be able to live like a Spanish person like you did for a
Mhm.
week, right? Or like these students will be doing for 2 weeks unless you
Mhm.
move to Spain. These students who study abroad, who live with host families, who take classes at the Spain Center, or excuse me, the Leon Center, who go to businesses and visit local, organizations, you are living the life of a Spaniard for 2 weeks,
Mhm.
right? And that is hard to come by when you're traveling. So
Yeah. I guess I haven't even shared the best part.
yeah,
Tapas.
the food, yeah, the
Tapas,
Spain.
the food. Oh, like it is so different over there than it is over here. Like I don't know, I don't think I'm the only one, but I tend to just work through the day or, work, school, whatever we're doing. We're just busy. It's go, go, go. Over there, they really make you stop and take your break and take a rest and have a good meal and spend time with friends in the middle of the day. And then you go back to work or you go back to school. And then in the evening, there's more social time. It is,
Yes.
and then during the day, there are tapas that they serve with food or with your drinks and non-alcoholic drinks or alcoholic drinks. But in the program, I think you're not supposed to drink. But like during lunches time, like when you go out and get some food, there's always these little snacks served with
Yes.
it. And
Yes.
it's amazing. You
Free.
and I
It's
believe,
part of the cost, right?
if I remember correctly, yeah, I don't think it's not in Madrid, you have to pay for it, but I believe it was in Lyon where
Mm-hmm.
it was free. So you order your drink and then you get free food with it.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, delicious.
So yeah, tapas, for those of you who haven't had tapas before, there's all different kinds, of course, but it's basically like a nibble that you have with your food, like almonds or potatoes, or they can be very extravagant cheese, or
Hmm.
it could be something like calamari, right? I mean, there's a million different things you could have.
Yes. Yeah,
But it's
there's usually things
delicious,
you can choose from. Hmm.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh, I'm getting hungry just
I
thinking
like
about it. Um,
it.
so okay, so actually that leads me to sort of another question about food. But a lot of students, I think in the US, we are not super familiar with Spanish food in general. I don't think it's something that a lot of people understand, the ins and outs of, except for maybe tapas.
Hmm.
So, what is the food like? What did you love? What are you excited to eat? What is the cost? Those kinds of things.
Hmm. Mm. Well, food is included like in as part of the homestay. I'm trying to remember when we were in Madrid, we had that was kind of like a big opening welcome dinner.
Yes.
And once we were in our homestays, the host will provide you breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I mean, you can choose to stay eat out with lunch, for example, if you wanted to, or dinner. But I remember if I came home between classes, because there's a 2 hour break, then there was a big meal ready for me. And they were a variety of things. A lot of times it was rice and meat.
Mm-hmm.
I can't recall the actual names, but one of the times the meat was kind of spicy, and I'm not a spicy eater, so that took me off guard a little bit. But they also have this dish. Oh, I'm trying to find the name. Tortillas de patatas.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It is potatoes, an onion, an egg, and I can't remember what else was in it. It was fairly basic, and it was just so delicious.
It's
So
like an omelet, right?
yeah, a really thick, filling omelet. And I think that might be actually something that they serve during lunchtime for
Yes.
free in the cafes.
Yes.
Oh
So
man, 4 years.
good.
Yeah, we need to go back.
Yes. And fresh and delicious. So I think, as you were getting to before, like Spanish culture and food is about enjoying. It's not about I got to
Oh,
eat this sandwich right now so I can get to
no.
this meeting, right?
Mm-mm.
So
Exactly.
they're taking good care of what they're making, and they want you to enjoy it, even if it is something simple. So that's something that I
Hmm.
hope students take the time to slow down and savor, and then
Yes.
maybe we can all adopt that
Yes.
here.
I know. And my host mom didn't speak much English.
Mhm.
I didn't speak much Spanish,
Mhm.
but there is Google Translate, which is amazing.
Mhm.
And there's always that fun of trying to say something, even if it's minimal. Like
Yeah.
sometimes we were watching TV together and we were just trying to talk about what was happening on TV. So like nothing important. Um, but we just had a good time just trying to explain each other like what we were or
Yeah.
trying. It was just so much fun.
And
And
you're,
the other
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
oh so my host mom, so I had a single female as a host parent, and she had a I think 20-year-old daughter, and she was so excited to for her daughter to meet me. She was telling her all about me, and then she was excited for her daughter to be introduced to me, and she spoke a lot more English, so that was a lot of fun too. So I think they're very welcoming, like even including you in the larger family.
Yes. Yes. They
Yeah.
think of you. I think some students worry about host families because they don't want to have like another set of parents in Spain, right? But
Yeah.
it's more like a an aunt, or
Yeah.
like a family friend, or someone who's there to help and support you,
Hmm.
help you, maybe like figure out how to use the bus, or like walk to school, or with groceries, or answer a question about Spanish or
Hmm.
something. They're there to feed you. They're there to share their culture with you, but not to impose rules on you, right?
Hmm.
It's more
Yeah.
like an extra support system.
Yeah. And there's always, there are probably some house rules, especially if there's children in the house or mine was pretty flexible. because we didn't really have kids to worry about. She was independent and didn't have to worry about work anymore. But there were other families that had children at home, so then there might be more set times, like this is when we eat, or
Right.
this, please be quiet after a certain time.
Right.
So one of the things, for example, because not everything is, what do you call it? Not everything is perfect, right?
Of course.
So one of the things that I had is, so I was in a homestay and we were in an apartment building, and apparently my host is not able to control the heat. It was done through like the whole apartment building. So yeah, it was really, really warm in that building. And I like it warm, but that was really, really warm, especially at night. But that's just things that you learn. It's like, okay, well, she can't adjust it. I can adjust. I'll just open a window, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just one of those random cultural things that,
yeah. And you're fine, and you're okay, right? Like, I think another thing that we like to do is prepare students for potential challenges. I mean, what is the point of going abroad if you don't learn about yourself and different places? And the best way to do that is have a challenge or have something new happen and you'd be like, oh, okay, what am I going to do about this, right?
Yes.
So in order to prepare students for instance, a homestay in a city in Spain, it's important to remember that in lots of other countries besides the United States, space is not as readily available, right? Like things are smaller. Your host parents probably won't have a dryer, right? The bathroom situation might be different. You might not be able to control the heat in your. I lived in an apartment in Prague like that, where my neighbor would be able to control my heat, and I'd have to go over and speak broken Czech and be like, "It's really cold." Right? But these are all things that make us stronger, that make us understand what works and doesn't work in other places, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think that's a really good point. I want to make sure that students know that this is an experience like any other life experience with trials and tribulations and ups and downs. It's not all like rainbows and butterflies, but it does teach you about what you like or don't like and about what's important or maybe not important, and also like why things are the way they are here and in other places, right? It really opens your eyes to how things work elsewhere. Yeah. And can I maybe switch gears with you, Annemarie, and ask about the coursework? So a lot of students, I think, have two separate ideas about study abroad, and I don't think either of them are exactly right in terms of coursework. So I think a lot of students think that they're just going to be sitting in a classroom all day in whatever country they're in, like they would here. Or on the other side of the spectrum, they might think like, this is a party. Like, I don't need to do anything.
Right.
I'm taking, 5 credits just to be in Spain. And I'm somewhere in the middle, right? So I would love for you to share how the coursework compares to UWT courses and what it looks like when you're actually on the ground in Leon and in Madrid.
Yeah. So in this program, students can either get 5. If you're a finance student, you probably want to go to get the finance credits. If you're not a finance student, you can get the other 5 credits. I can't remember the name of it, but right now. Prerequisites are a little bit different too. So that's what I did when I did the program. I did the other 5 credits, not finance, because I was a global studies major and it was very beneficial to go.
Yep. International business field experience is the other one.
Yeah, it's probably T was 490 or something like that.
468, yes.
468. And when you're there, you will have class in the classroom, but it's minimal. And again, it's a beautiful setting, so it doesn't feel a punishment or like, oh, I have to be here. It's not like that. It's a very comfortable place. I don't remember how many hours of class we had, but it might be maybe 2 hours a day. A big part of this program is company visits. And that was another thing that really surprised me. Like, it's a smaller town, smaller than Tacoma, and there were all these businesses that have massive international impact. So we were able to visit a lot of those businesses and ask questions and get a tour. So that is a big part of the program, like the business visits, interaction with them. And then, yes, we do spend some time in the classroom to learn about the theory, about international trade, the market, and other finance and economy related topics. But we really, the 2 weeks that we're in the country, we want you to be out there exploring the businesses, interacting with the people, and getting familiar with the culture.
Mm-hmm.
Then after you come back, there will still be coursework that you need to do throughout fall quarter, but you don't have to come to campus. It's all online.
Mm-hmm.
But there will be coursework and assignments that you have to submit throughout fall quarter to finish up your 5 credits.
Right. Right.
So it's a really, really great combination of some class time, a heavy focus on business visits, but also visiting some cultural sites.
Right.
Because there's a gold mine, which is amazing.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. There is history, architectural history. There is a very rich chocolate history in this region. So I'm pretty sure we'll be visiting a chocolate factory.
Yes. Okay, sign me up. We're done.
Yes, let's go.
Yeah. I appreciate you explaining the difference. So, of course, you're going to be doing some theory work and work in the classroom, but as you said, the basis of this program and most study abroad programs is to, like you said, explore, go to businesses, meet people, learn about the country by doing things, not just sitting, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Awesome. And then, I lost here we go. What about free time? I know sometimes students are worried that they won't have any. I know the program is short, so it's probably got a fair amount of things going on, but do students have any free time?
Absolutely, yes. So I was there for a week, and I had a decent amount of free time. It was limited, but I had a decent amount of free time. So in the 2 weeks that we're going, the students will have a little bit more free time, and there's a lot to explore within the town itself. Your host family might be willing to do something with you if there's a bigger chunk of free time that you have. But it's also very conveniently located. Like there's a train that goes, I think it's north or northwest, east. Anyway, it goes to Madrid if you wanted to go visit the city. But it's a few hour train ride. I think it was maybe an hour or 2 hours. But it also goes south. So you can also go other ways and explore other cities if you have a bigger chunk of free time.
Right.
I don't have the day-to-day schedule yet, so I don't know exactly when the free time is. But there is a lot to do. And the big thing is when you are in a different country and things are so different, it can be really mentally exhausting.
Yes.
Maybe physically too. So sometimes you just want that free time, whether you sit in a cafe or take a walk outside or sit in your room in your homestay. Like you just need that time to kind of decompress or maybe talk to your family and friends at home. So there will definitely be time for that. Yeah.
Thank you
And
for
within the program too, I've noticed that there's a lot of times that like friendships are like there's groups of friends.
Like meeting people and becoming friends, yeah.
Exactly. Yes, thank you.
You're living this experience together, and that brings a lot of closeness to people, I think.
Exactly. So I think it's very likely that you'll have friends that are saying, hey, let's go do this, or let's go explore the cathedral, or let's go over here and
look at this park. Yeah.
Yes.
And I think you also mentioned the fact that in Spain there are siestas, right? And that is free time. You could take a nap, or you can, like you said, go explore the cathedral, or go have some tapas, or whatever.
Yes.
Awesome.
Can't go shopping, I've learned.
You have
to wait till later.
Students probably don't know that things close at siesta.
Things close at siestas. Restaurants are open, but stores, they close. They'll open again later.
It's everyone's break, except for people who work at restaurants.
Yes. And it's probably going to be pretty warm when we go. If we're going in September. And I'm expecting it to be pretty warm that time of year. So if you like the warmth and the heat.
Perfect. I'm getting jealous, more and more jealous as the minutes go by. Okay, my next question, and I think maybe we should round out here with this one, and then you can add anything that we haven't touched on, Annemarie. What is a piece of advice that you'd give to a student who's thinking about participating in this program?
Enjoy it, be open-minded, and just take it all in. It might not be always what you expect. It might be better. Hopefully it's better. For me, it definitely was exceeding my expectations of being in Lyon. There might be things that you struggle with, but like you said earlier, that's how you learn, right? That's like, it's only 2 weeks. If there's something you don't like, there's an end to it. We can go home. But just, yeah, I think that's a big thing. Be open-minded, open to new experiences. Don't be afraid to say yes to trying something new, and give yourself time to process it too when you come home. Because in the moment, you might not realize what you're experiencing or how this is affecting you. But afterwards, when you come home, you probably are still processing, like, oh yeah, this is what the tour guide was talking about, or this is how this affected me, or now I realize why they're doing this, or maybe not. So
Exactly. Yes.
open mind.
I
Yes.
think, Cindy, my colleague, and I were talking earlier today about our first study abroad experiences, and we both had aha moments again. And the first time I studied abroad was in 2005, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I think what students don't maybe anticipate is for this to change you and stay with
Mm-hmm.
you for a long, maybe
Oh,
forever.
absolutely. Absolutely. And I can only imagine what it must be like if you haven't left the US yet, or if you don't have a lot of experiences outside of where you grew up or
Right.
where you live now. Oh, I can only imagine, like, even for me, it made so much impact, such a good, positive impact. And I'm like, even if you don't choose this program, if there's another program you can participate in,
Mm-hmm.
do it. If you can, please do it. We'd love to have
Everyone
you with
says
our
that.
program, but just,
Just do
yes,
it. It's like the Nike
do
thing.
it.
Come on, everybody.
Do it. Just do it. Yeah.
Well, let me remind all of those students who are watching this or who will watch this later that the deadline for this program is February 15th. If you have questions, you can reach out to me, or better, even Annemarie or Margot, who are the program directors or the experts on these programs. We are here to support y'all. Remember that there's funding options for, there's scholarships, there's financial aid. We can help students navigate, things that are maybe holding them back. Like maybe you have a family, or maybe you have finance issues or employment that's holding you back. Let us know. So many students at UWT have so many responsibilities, and our job is to help support you and help you find ways to make a study abroad experience work. So just use the resources that are available to you. That's my plea.
I agree
And
wholeheartedly.
hasta luego.
I can't say my Spanish improved a whole lot when I was there that week,
That
but
is the bonus of the program, of course.
exactly. Exactly.
Practices in Spanish, but the focus is obviously on other things. But it doesn't hurt. It's good for your brain, right?
Experience, yeah.
Thank you, Annemarie. I'll share this with you on Friday probably, and we'll go from there. But I'm so excited for you and for everyone, and I just think this is a fantastic opportunity.
I agree.
All right.
And yeah, feel free to reach out to me if anyone has any questions or wants to learn more about Lyon or the program. Please don't hesitate to reach out. So,
all right.
you.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.